Today we are going to do the Battle of Antietam and the Emancipation Proclamation. We are going to see why is the Battle of Antietam significant, why are we learning about this battle, and why is the Emancipation Proclamation significant to the Civil War and what were its impacts. So you will go to your Civil War packet and you will open it up to the Battle of Antietam. If you need to pause this video at any time to catch up, please do. Use the pause button, the rewind, as much as you need to. Okay, the Battle of Antietam. The Battle of Antietam occurred September 22nd, 1862, at Antietam Creek near Sharpsburg, Maryland. It was Confederate General Robert E. Lee's attempt to invade the North. Thousands of bodies littered the sprawling Antietam battlefield, and both sides regrouped and claimed their dead and wounded. Just 12 hours of intense and often close-range fighting with muskets and cannons had resulted in around 23,000 casualties, including an estimated 3,650 dead. The Union claimed victory. The battle's outcome would be vital, that means important, to shaping America's future, and it remains the deadliest one-day battle in all American military history. So its big significance is that there's a lot of dead soldiers in this one-day battle, and that's what makes Antietam stand out from other military battles. So right now, I'm going to have you go back to Google Classroom, and you are going to go to the link that you see in Google Classroom. And that link is going to take you to some photographs. These photographs are very graphic, and they are actual photographs from the Battle of Antietam. So I would like you to analyze those because while they're graphic, I really want it to help you memorize, like, this is the battle that was devastating for not just the Union, but for the Confederacy, because you have so many dead soldiers. And really, in the end, these are all Americans that have died in one day, over 3,000 deaths. That's a lot of soldiers. So please analyze the photos. You'll pause this video, you'll go to Google Classroom, and you'll go to the link. So at this time, you can go ahead and pause the video. Now that you have seen those graphic photographs, those actual Civil War photographs, we are going to make a sketch of the Battle of Antietam. And that is going to be a lot of dead little stick figures. But that is the significance of it. It's why it's remembered over so many other battles. So right here, we're going to write Battle of Antietam. And then in this space, you're going to draw, you could draw a battle scene. You can think about what you saw in those photographs. How are you going to remember this is the deadliest one-day battle of the Civil War? And that the Union claimed victory, because if you're going to have that many deaths, it's important to have won that battle because you feel like, in a military standpoint, at least it was worth it. So at this time, you're going to pause the video and go ahead and pause the video and complete your sketch. So you'll go ahead and pause so you can do that. Okay, your sketch is now complete, and we are going to go into the Emancipation Proclamation, and you're going to see how this is linked to the Battle of Antietam. I also will have a video for you to watch with this also. So the Emancipation Proclamation, a lot of you remember this from prior grade levels, 7th grade, maybe another grade level. It's a pretty famous speech by Lincoln. So I'm going to read this introduction right here. After this deadly battle, President Lincoln made a critical decision, a decision that would change the course of the war. He issued the Emancipation Proclamation. Your task is to determine the most important effect of the Emancipation Proclamation. In July 1862, Lincoln informed his cabinet that he would issue an Emancipation Proclamation. His cabinet persuaded him not to make the announcement until a Union victory. And guess what? Antietam is that Union victory. Lincoln's opportunity came following the Union win at the Battle of Antietam. On September 22nd, the president announced that slaves in all areas still in rebellion within 100 days would be free. Because remember, to Lincoln, just because the South ran away, to him, they're still part of the United States of America. So he is letting everyone know that if you are a slave in the United States, you are now free. On January 1st, 1863, Lincoln issued the final Emancipation Proclamation, freeing all slaves. And so we're going to look a little bit more into this, and we're also going to look at the effects. But this is huge, and this is also a big part of an amendment that's going to come up, but he's going to use this as a military tactic because it's actually, the Emancipation Proclamation is not the law, and this is not what permanently this is not what ends slavery. It is a tactic to cause issues with to the Confederacy, to help get more former slaves to fight with the Union, but this is not what's going to end slavery, and I want to make that clear. Lincoln's going to work on something else to do that later on. So here's what we're going to do. We are simply going to read what came out of Lincoln's mouth, and then we are going to match it in simpler terms, and we've done this a lot. But the first thing is there's some words in here that make it difficult for us to read. Garrison, vessels, warranted, invoke. So I want you to go ahead, and we're going to find these words in here. So take a second and scan through here and find these words. So for example, garrison, I'm going to cross it out, and I'm going to write the word defend. So go ahead and find these other ones. Okay, so you can pause the video if you need more time. So let's go through here and make sure you have it. Here's vessels, that's boats. We have warranted is on here somewhere. Invoke, I see that. Ask for. And warranted has slipped away from me. So as we read it, we'll probably find it. Okay, so here's how we do this. Here are the simpler terms. I, Lincoln, believe that the Constitution allows me to do this. Give the Emancipation Proclamation. All freed slaves will be able to join the United States Army and Navy. All slaves in rebelling states will be free effective January 1st, 1863. So that's how we talk, but we need to match that to how Lincoln talks. So we'll do the first one together. That on the first day of January in the year of our Lord 1863, all persons held as slaves within any state, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States, shall be then thenceforward and forever free. Now that's Lincoln's words. How can we match that to one of these in simpler terms? So you may need to read this again and then decide which one of these is what Lincoln is saying in a way I understand. And then you'll write that here. And then you'll read the next one he says. And then you'll think, okay, which one of these is his simpler terms to say that? I'm going to put it right here. Then I'm going to read this. And then I'm going to find it in simpler terms. And I'm going to write it right there. So that's how you complete it, and you'll be able to understand the Emancipation Proclamation a little bit easier once we put it in simple terms. So go ahead and pause the video and complete this assignment. It should not take you very long. Okay, so now that you are done completing this, you are going to go back to Google Classroom, and you're going to watch a video on the Emancipation Proclamation. This is a great reenactment from the story of us over the decision for Lincoln to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. It is awesome. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Google Classroom, and you are going to go to the video, and you're going to watch that video and make sure you've already completed this, you're going to go to Google Classroom and watch that video. It is awesome. All you need to do is view it. And then when you are done, excuse the interruptions, when you are done, you're going to come back to your assignment. Okay, so this is done, and you've watched the video. Now we are going to look at the effects of the Emancipation Proclamation because it's huge. This is one of the most famous speeches in American history. So we're going to look at the effects. So what you're going to do is you're going to read the effects. You're going to go to the PDF in Google Classroom. And there is a 1, it'll say like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. It's like one sentence long. And you're going to read those effects, and you're going to put just a bullet point here, a bullet point here, a bullet point here, and a bullet point here. So you will, and then these pictures, so these two pictures go with one of the effects. This picture goes with one of the effects, this one and this one. But they're also in the PDF. So you're just going to put a bullet point and summarize. You're only just going to summarize the effect and put it right here. Do not copy the effect. Don't do that. Write it in a short bullet point. So you read something and then it tells you the effect. Keep it very simple. So I want 4 effects of the Emancipation Proclamation. So Lincoln says, here's the Emancipation Proclamation. He reads it to America. What are the 4 things, major things that happen afterwards? So go ahead and pause this video. Go to Google Classroom. Go to the PDF. And you can pause the video now. Okay, so now that you're done with your effects, the very last thing that you need to do is you are going to put what you think the most important effect of the Emancipation Proclamation is. So it says, using your notes and your own thoughts, write a paragraph that answers the guided question. What was the most important effect of the Emancipation Proclamation? You must use at least 2 facts from the notes as evidence to support your answer. Use the chart to help you organize your ideas. So, what's your opinion? The most important effect of the Emancipation Proclamation was, I would go back to this to give you your answer. What is your evidence? For example, why do you think that this is important? Why is that important? So you're telling me why you think this is the most important thing. Give me an example of why it's so important. There's 4 causes. You tell me which one you think is the big deal. And then explain your reasoning. So, how does your evidence support your opinion? How does this prove your point? Why is this evidence important? So, this proves that blank, one of these 4 things, you go back to one of these 4 things, whatever you put here, this proves that this was the most important effect of the Emancipation Proclamation because. So you have to think about your evidence, and you're just kind of wrapping it up. Why was African Americans joining the Union? Why would that be so helpful? Why does it prove to be so helpful? Because we obviously know what happened in the end. How does it helpful that other countries didn't support? So just use your evidence, use the videos, and use your assignment to answer that. So then, of course, we know we take this one, and this one, and we rewrite it so beautifully and gorgeous right down here. Remember, this is just your opinion. So if someone asked you, oh, really, there's 4 big effects of the Emancipation Proclamation? Oh, do you think, like, which one is the most important? What's the biggest deal? And you would say, and they say, well, why do you think that is a big deal? Why is it more important than some of these other ones? You just be able to explain, well, why did you pick that and not another one? So this is just where you'll organize that. And make sure you're answering this guided question. When you are done with all of that, that's the end of your assignment. You can either go to, when you're totally done, you can go to Quizlet, and you can complete any of those you want. Probably sectionalism would be the best one. But this should probably take you the whole class period because the video was kind of long. Okay, so make sure you have all this done, and I will have you read it to your neighbor before you leave. So make sure you know by the end of class, and you could go ahead and pause the video so that you can complete your assignment. And by the time you are done, you will have completed your Battle of Antietam, and you will know the significance of both the Battle of Antietam and the Emancipation Proclamation and its effects. And if you can tell me the significance of this battle and what's the Emancipation Proclamation and why is it so important, what's the big deal about it, consider yourself very successful for today. That is it.